Steven Spielberg comes out in his prime to make one of the greatest, most iconic horror films of all time. Jaws. Just the word brings fear into your hearts. Alright, so Jaws is pretty much the tale of a giant ass shark that's just going around this beach and killing people, okay? I mean, this thing is just on a rampage going through the sea. But it doesn't really kill a lot of people in this movie. It like kills maybe 4 or 5 people at the most and eats a dog. Poor puppy. And it all takes place in this small New England town beach that pretty much lives off its tourists and is coming towards beach season. And they gotta stop the shark before it kills everybody. And now we have our movie. This movie can be called a timeless classic by some, and I say that's mostly true. It has a lot of iconic moments in it, and my personal opinion on this movie is it's one of the best shark movies ever made. I mean, you take movies like nowadays like Shark Night 3D and Sharktopus, really? Doesn't even stand a chance compared to this movie. This is like one of the most legit shark films of all time. And it's not like the shark's going around killing people on a grudge. It's just a shark out in the sea. It doesn't have an agenda. It's not heat-seeking in the water going after people. It's just life. There's a lot of suspense in this movie. Like, half the movie pretty much is just building up to when they go hunting for this thing. So halfway through this movie, they got a lot of good characters in it. They got to pull a lot of exposition to these people in this town. And pretty much basically saying, look, we're not going to really do anything about the situation because tourist season's coming in and it'll ruin our town. So we're just going to ignore this. That'll be perfectly fine. But it wasn't. And pretty much our main protagonist in this movie is Brody. And Brody is the chief of police. So what happens, he goes out to this beach and finds this person who has been mangled to death. Possibility, shark attack. Now that everybody's reporting that it's a shark, nobody wants to really accept it. Even the mayor, he was like, we can't do this. This town depends on it. It depends on the tourist season. We'll lose all of our money. And on top of that, the rest of the crew is pretty good. You got the person who played the wife is great. Hooper is the nerd. That's always great. The guy Quint, who's just kind of this comic relief character, but not really at the same time. I like his character a lot. He's awesome. He's that fisherman guy. He's like that guy. He just goes up on the call and just... And so pretty much it gets to the point where a lot of people have died and the mayor's like, oh, I can't cover this up anymore. Alright, go ahead and hire him. And so they go out into the middle of the ocean with this guy on this boat. It's just those 3 guys out in the sea in the boat. And the suspense is great. I mean, the real hunt for this shark it's a great experience. I gotta admit, I really enjoyed it. I was like, oh my gosh, is this shark gonna come out? And it's pretty much just hunting for the shark, waiting, with no music playing in the background. It's a very quiet movie, and that's kind of where I think people are going to lose attention. I mean, it's not like Deep Blue Sea or anything, where you know the sharks are out there and it's got that dun 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 music, you know, scaring the crap out of you, like, oh my god, the shark's going to get him, the shark's going to get him. Or it doesn't have even these CG sharks at all. Everything here is old-style special effects. So if you're not a fan of old-style special effects, you're not going to like this movie. And this movie is, like I'm saying, it's a slow burn. Okay? If you don't like old movies and you get used to the old movies like Halloween, you're not going to like this movie. I actually took my friend to go see this movie. I brought this movie over to my friend on DVD, and I was like, dude, we got to see this movie. You're going to like it. He fell asleep. Pretty much halfway into the movie, he's like... Wakes up, the movie's over, he's like, what I missed? Everything. This movie's a combination of suspense, horror, and excellent freaking directing. Combine all that with a giant, large apex predator of the deep, and you've got one of the best movies ever made. The movie has some of the most iconic lines you could ever think of, like when Quint is sitting on the table telling the story of when the Indianapolis was sank and he was stuck in the water. Or of course that scene where Brody's in the middle of the boat, he's about to blow the shark up and he says that line we all love. Smile, you son of a... And it was awesome. So all in all, Jaws is an amazing movie. It's one of the best shark films ever made, and you should definitely see it. Buy it on DVD, buy it on Blu-ray, do whatever you gotta do to see this movie. It's a classic. And folks, that's my review for Jaws. And if you want to see more reviews, comment below for the reviews, and we'll have them done for you.